Shalom, Israel. This is a quick video dealing with birthdays. A lot of Israelites are celebrating birthdays, and I guess the question is, should we, as Israelites, celebrate birthdays? Is it a custom of Israel? Is it a custom of the other nations? Is it okay, even if it's not a custom of Israel? Um, is it a custom of Israel? That is the question. And so we're going to discuss that real quick. This is just a quick video discussing birthdays. Should Israelites celebrate birthdays? First, we're going to go to Revelations 18, verse 2 through 6. Revelations 18, verse 2 through 6. It says, "And he cried mightily with a sound voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird." Now we understand Babylon is talking about America. This is after Babylon has fallen. It says, "For the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication." All the sins of America is saying that all the nations are partaking in her sins. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. It's talking about all the different kingdoms that have gone against Israel, the Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. They've all gone against us to keep us on the bottom. And they say they've all sinned against, that they all have fornicated against the Most High. He said, "And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of their delicacies." Because of America, a lot of countries become rich from America and dealing with America. If you don't deal with America, they put different sanctions on you, uh, like they're doing with Russia and different things, until you obey them. Babylon the Great will put sanctions. They will do different things to make you comply to them. It says, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people." It's telling Israel to come out of her, meaning don't be partakers of her sins. The sins of America that America is doing, you don't be partakers. Come out of her. That ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. See, when you partake in America's sins, you also partake in the plagues of America. The different diseases that are here, different things. We have a lot of different issues that's coming here with COVID and different things. If you don't want to be partakers of America's sins and have the plagues of America be put upon you, then you need to keep the commandments of the Most High. "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works in the cup which she hath filled to her double." See, America's going to get double what they've done to the Israelites. They're going to get double of what they've done. And if you don't want to be part of getting that double, then you need to come out of her. It doesn't mean leave America. It means come out of her as far as her philosophies. Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, uh, birthdays, all of those are heathen customs. They're not of the Most High. Okay? Celebrating Christmas is no different than celebrating birthdays. If you celebrate birthdays, you might as well celebrate Christmas. If you celebrate birthdays, you might as well do Easter. There's no difference in Easter and a birthday. There's no difference in Christmas and a birthday. If you're celebrating birthdays, you have one foot in the truth and you have one foot still in the world. There are Israelites that will say, "I'm doing birthdays. I'm going to do it no matter what you say." And that's okay. They will get double the plagues that are going to be put on America because you know better. Okay? Let's go with the origins of birthday cakes, how they came about and different things like that. It says that there's one theory is that the history of putting candles on cake began in ancient Greece. The Greeks would make round cakes to honor Artemis, the goddess of the moon. Israelites, we don't worship any goddess. We don't worship the moon. The lit candles on the cake represented the glow of the moon, and the smoke from the candles carried their prayers and wishes to God who lived in the sky. See, we don't need any candles and smoke to take our prayers to the Most High. We do it through Yahweh Shah, through Christ. We don't need that. That's not of God. That's not of the Most High. It says some scholars believe the tradition actually started in Germany, where the candles were supposedly placed on the cake to represent the light of life. See, the Most High is the light of life through Christ, not any candles. Okay? Now, this is some of the origins of birthdays and birthday cakes. No different than Christmas. The origins of Christmas with the Christmas tree of Babylon, where they cut heads off and put it on the Christmas tree. That was a pagan custom, just like birthdays. The problem is everyone want to have fun. Everyone think they're missing out because if they don't do birthdays, they're missing out of something. Or I can't celebrate my kid's birth. Most of the time, it's the women. Women enjoy having fun. They want to have a party to celebrate themselves as being a god. And the men will allow it because a lot of men are weak. And that's why they allow it. They don't want to make the woman mad, so they'll go ahead and say it. Let me continue. 2 Maccabees 6, verse 1 through 9. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of God. So they didn't want the Israelites to live by our laws. It says, and to pollute all the temple in Jerusalem and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympus. They wanted us to call our temple Jupiter Olympus after their gods. And that in Garzam of Jupiter of defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place. Verse 3, the coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people. It was grievous to Israel because we wanted to keep the laws. We didn't care about their laws and what they did, their birthdays and all the other heathen customs they did. It was grievous. Now you got Israel doing birthdays like it's nothing, happy. And you got Israelite men telling them it's okay. Verse 4, for the temple was filled with riot and rebellings by the Gentiles, the other nations, who dallied with harlots. They had harlots in the temple and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places. And besides that, brought in things that were not lawful. They brought all kinds of things into our temples that were not lawful. Let's see what some of these things they brought into the temple. Their altars were also was filled with profane things, which the law forbiddeth. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts. See, we're supposed to be keeping that feast. Birthdays is not one of the feasts to keep. Or to profess himself to be a Jew, at all to be a Jew. We couldn't even say we're a Jew anymore. And that's where the word Gentiles came from in the New Testament. Okay? Verse 7, and in the day of the king's birth. So it's going through now the king's birth during that time. Every mouth they were brought by bitter constraints to eat of the sacrifice. It says on the king's birth. This is not a king of Israel. This is another king. It said on his birthday, the Israelites were brought in bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifice. And when the fast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus carrying ivy. on its birthday. You have Israelites that actually want to celebrate birthdays when it's a heathen custom. It's something that was forced on us, like Christmas, like Thanksgiving, like Halloween, like birthdays. All of those are heathen customs. Moreover, verse 8, moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews that they should observe the same fashions. What same fashion? Birthdays, everything. And be partakers of their sacrifices. So eat pork, lobster, shrimp, do whatever that the other nations do. And whoso would not conform, therefore, to the manners of the Gentiles should be put to death. Then might a man have seen the present misery. So they were forced by bitter constraint or put to death if they didn't keep these customs. So we start keeping these customs, birthdays, Christmas, all these customs are from the heathen. And we were forced to do it. Why would you still continue to do customs that we were forced to do and we had ancestors who died because of these customs? And then you have Israelites saying, leaders saying, there's nothing wrong with doing birthdays, as if it's of God. Let's go into the Maccabean revolt. The Maccabean revolt was a rebellion against their Greek Syrian oppressors in Israel, as well as a rejection of Hellenistic compromises in worship. That's where you get the Hellenized Jews. Some accepted birthdays and Christmas and different unholy days. The history of the Maccabean revolt is founded in the Maccabees and in the writings of Josephus. And that's where we get Hanukkah or the dedication is from this. Some background on the event leading up to the Maccabean revolt. The Old Testament closes with the book of Malachi, covering events to roughly 400 BC. After that, Alexander the Great, all the conquerors, the known civilized world, and dies in 323 BC. Empire is distributed to his four generals who consolidated their territories and established their dynasties. Ptolemy, one of his generals, ruled in Egypt. Seleucus, another of his generals, ruled in the territory that included Syria. These generals founded dynasties that were often at war with each other. Israel, located between the two kingdoms, occupied a precarious position. Ptolemy, rule of Israel or Palestine, was tolerant of Jewish religious practice. However, the Seleucid Empire eventually won control of the area and began to curtail Jewish religious practices or the religion of the Jews. Around 175 BC, Antiochus came to power. He chose for himself the name Antiochus Epiphanes, which means God manifests. He began to persecute the Jews in earnest. He outlawed Jewish religious practices, including the observing of kosher food, and ordered the worship of Greek god Zeus. See, a lot of these customs are Greek customs that we are doing. And you have leaders that will push it and say it's okay to do that. It's really strange that you have leaders that would push customs that our ancestors died for. His ultimate act of desecration, precipitating the Maccabean revolt, was to sacrifice a pig to Zeus in the temple of Jerusalem. He sacrificed a pig to Zeus in the temple. Then faithful Jews' opposition had been an undercurrent all along. But Antiochus' overt act of desecration brought it to the surface, and the result was the Maccabean revolt. Mattathias, one of the priests of the Jews, led an organized resistance along with his 5 sons. And one of the sons being Judas Maccabeus, and that is where you get Maccabean, which means the hammer. See, the Maccabean or Jewish Maccabean, they called him the hammer because he put the hammer down. He didn't play when it came to keeping the laws. He didn't accept birthdays. He didn't accept any pig being on the altar in the temple, and so there was a revolt. Mattathias started the rebellion by preventing a Jew from sacrificing to a pagan god, and then killed an officer of the king. Mattathias escaped with his family to the hills, where he was joined by many other faithful Jews. From there, they conducted guerrilla warfare against the Seleucids. But much of their wrath was also directed against fellow Jews who had embarked Greek culture, those Hellenized Jews who had accepted Greek culture, who had accepted birthdays and different other customs that were not of Israel. A lot of times you're going to have to go against your own people because they are so caught up into the world that they're not willing to give up birthdays and other days that are not high holy days. The rebels tore down pagan altars, circumcised boys, and forced Hellenized Jews to become outlaws with no rights of legal protection. Upon Mattathias' death, around 166 BC, his son Judas Maccabeus took command of the rebellion. Judas saw himself as the leader, like Moses, Joshua, and Gideon. Under the leadership of Judas Maccabee, the rebellion continued successfully, and the Maccabees, as they were called, were also to capture Jerusalem and rededicate the temple in around 164 BC. It is from this time that the festival of Hanukkah came, or the Feast of Dedication. The Maccabees took the War of Galilee in the effort to reclaim that territory to the Jews. Antiochus Epiphanes died, and his son successor Antiochus Epiphanes agreed to peace, allowed the resumption of the practice of the Jews. However, the war resumed shortly after that, and Judas sought and received help from the fledgling power of Rome to finally throw off Seleucid control. Judas died in about 161 BC and was succeeded by his brother Jonathan. Finally, under Jonathan's leadership, peace was made with Alexander Balas, the Seleucid king. In around 153 BC, after Jonathan, his brother Simon ruled over a semi-independent state Jew nation. With the collapse of the Seleucid Empire in 116 BC, the nation of Israel enjoyed full independence until around 63 BC, when Rome installed a puppet king in Jerusalem. In spite of the fact that Judas Maccabees neither started the rebellion nor saw it to its completion, he is considered to be the central figure in it. Mattathias and his family are sometimes called Hasmoneans. They are referred to as the Maccabees after Judas. And the revolt they led is referred to as the Maccabean revolt. Okay? That is where you get the Maccabean revolt from. They didn't accept Christmas and Thanksgiving and unholy days like uh, uh, um, birthdays and different things like that. Let's go to the next scripture, Job 3, verse 1. After this opened Job his mouth and cursed his day. What is his day? His birthday. And Job spake and said, let the day perish wherein I was born, and the night in which it was said, there is a man child conceived. Let them be, let that day be darkness. Let not God regard it from above, neither let the light shine upon it. So you have Job, an upright man, said, forget my birthday. Don't regard it from above. Don't make it any special day. The only special day, the only person that we're supposed to give reverence to is the Most High. Not to a woman, not to a man, not to the day you were born, where you're sitting there, everybody worshiping you on the day you were birthed. There's no day you put above the Most High. And when you do birthdays, you're putting your day above the Most High. See, Job didn't do that. Okay? Psalms 115:1. Not unto us, O Lord, not unto us, but unto thy name give glory, for thy mercy and thy truth's sake. It says, not unto us, not unto us, but unto thy name give glory. We give glory to Yahweh, Jesus Christ, Yahweh. That is who we give glory to. Yahweh and Yahweh. We don't give glory to ourselves. We don't go and everybody's going out getting birthdays, everybody's celebrating you, putting candles on there to greet gods and everything, and sending prayers up through the smoke of candles and stuff like that to get to God. We don't believe that. If you're an Israelite, you need to, and you're doing that, you need to repent and stop doing some Greek custom and start keeping the laws and the Most High. There's Israelites that don't even keep the feast days, but they want to do some unholy birthday. They don't even stay out there in tents for 7 days, but they'll do a birthday. They don't keep the Passover, but they'll do a birthday because they are still in this world. They have not come out of this world yet. One foot is in this world and one foot is out. And you have leaders that help them keep one foot into the world. Let's go to Job 1, verse 1 through 22. There was a man in the land of Oz whose name was Job, and that man was blameless and upright, and one who feared God and shunned evil. So this is an upright, blameless man without sin. Verse 2, and 7 sons and 3 daughters were born to him. Also, his possessions were 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 5,000 yoke of oxen, 500 female donkeys, and a very large household, so that this man was the greatest of all the people in the east. So this was a great man. Most High blessed him. You have some Israelites that, always talking about, having nice things. Most High can bless you with anything. Nice homes, nice houses, nice cars, if you're doing his will. But you have some of Israel they get jealous of Israelites who may have more. If Job lived during this time, you have a lot of Israelites, even though he's upright and keeping the laws and fear of the Most High, they still be jealous of him because of him being so great of a man. Verse 4, and his sons would go and feast in their houses, each one on his appointed day. What's his appointed day? On his birthday. And would send an invite their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. Verse 5, so it was when the days of the feasting had run their course that Job would send and sanctify them, and he would rise early in the morning and offer burnt offerings according to the number of them. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. How are they? Job, he didn't keep birthdays. He said, cursed be the day I was born. But his kids did it. And he tried to do a sacrifice for his kids. It says, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed our God in their hearts. Thus Job did regularly. Earth, a blameless and upright man, one who fears God and shuns evil. Verse 18, while he was still speaking, we jump down to verse 18. And while he was still speaking, another also came and said, your sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house. They were all drinking wine and having a party in the older brother's house on his birthday. And suddenly a great wind came from across the wilderness and struck the 4 corners of the house. And it fell on the young people, and they are dead. And I alone have escaped to tell you. It's amazing that it was on their birthday that the whirlwind came through. Is that coincidence? And Job was the only one who don't celebrate birthdays. He cursed the day he was born. And Job arose, tore his robe, and shaved his head, and he fell to the ground in worship. And he said, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked shall I return there. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. See, he still praised the Most High, even though they took his wicked sons away. See, sometimes you have Israel, they're going to just do what they want to do. You can't make you now everyone can't force someone to do that which is right. But a lot of time it's because of the father being wicked. It's not all the time, but a lot of times it's the wicked parents that got wicked kids. Verse 22. In all this, Job did not sin nor charge God with wrong. He still didn't go against the Most High, even after killing his family. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus 22, verse 7. Why doth one day excel another, when as all the light of every day in the year is of the sun? By the knowledge of the Lord they were distinguished, and he altered seasons and feasts. Some of them he hath high holy days and high days and hallowed it, and some of them hath he made ordinary days. And all men are from the ground, and Adam was created. See, one day, your day is not supposed to, or the day you were born is not supposed to excel. That's not a day that the Most High put in the scriptures for you to excel above another day. He has high holy days that he tell you what to do, like Passover, Feast of Tabernacles, new moons, different feast days, Hanukkah. There's days that already excel or that are above, that he's placed as holy days. Your birthday is not a holy day. Do not put your birthday above the Most High. But I'm not doing it. I'm just celebrating the birthday. It's not. I know that the Most High is above me. No. Everybody's coming to see you and give you praise on how wonderful you are and what day you were born. You should curse the day that you were born, just like other prophets did. So Job cursed the day. Let's see who else did it. Jeremiah 20, verse 14. Cursed be the day wherein I was born. Let not the day wherein my mother bare me be blessed. This is Jeremiah. He said, don't let the day that I was born be blessed, that my mother bore me be blessed. All the people doing their birth, oh, you blessed, you got another day living, you're blessed, your birthday is blessed. Everybody coming giving you gifts, you're blessed. What does Jeremiah say? Cursed be the day wherein I was born. Let not the day wherein my mother bare me be blessed. Why? Because you are not to excel one day outside of the high holy days the Most High gave us. You're not to put your day above it. And whether you say you're not putting it above it, you are. Let's go to Genesis 40, verse 20. It says, and it came to pass the third day, which was Pharaoh's birthday. See, you notice everybody that's doing birthdays are of another nation. They made us do it. And now you see Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among the servants, and he restored the chief butler unto his butlership again, and he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. But he hanged the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted to them. Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgot him. See, this is on his birthday. He hung a person. You notice that something about birthdays, it seemed like something bad happened. He hung a person on his birthday. Job's sons were killed on his birthday. We were forced with bitter constraint to go to the king on his birthday and to eat unclean animals and to do and to do the ways of the Gentiles on his birthday. Do you notice that it seems like birthdays is always something bad happening, somebody being killed or something going on? Let's go to Matthew 14, verse 6 through 11. But when Harold's birthday was kept, King Harold, now we're dealing with another king's birthday. King Harold's birthday, he was Idumean. He was a Jewish guy, a white man. But when Harold's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before them and pleased Herod, whereupon he promised with an oath to give her whatever she would ask. And she, being before instructed of her mother, said, give me her John the Baptist's head on a charger. What's a charger? A platter. She asked, because of her mother, for John the Baptist's head on a platter. This is on his birthday. You see, everything is always death on birthdays. Verse 9, and the king was sorry. Nevertheless, the king was sorry because he liked John the Baptist. But he told her that whatever she asked for, he would give him, and he had to keep his word. It says, nevertheless, for his oath's sake, and them which sat with him at meat, he commanded it to be given her. And he sent and beheaded John the Baptist. So John the Baptist, our ancestors, was beheaded on King Herod's birthday. And you want to celebrate birthdays when everybody is dying on birthdays? And his head was brought in a charger and given to him, to the damsel, and she brought it to her mother. So the one that asked, the daughter, asked for John the Baptist, and she took John the Baptist's head and took it over to her mother. Verse 17, seest thou not what they do in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem? The whole point of this is birthdays are wicked, and evil always happens on birthdays. Jeremiah 7, verse 17 through 20. Seest thou not that they do in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem? The children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women kneaded their dough to make cakes to the Queen of Heaven. So they're making cakes to the Queen of Heaven. They're worshiping the Queen of Heaven by making these cakes. It's part of where birthday cakes come from. So when y'all have the birthday cakes of the Israelites, y'all are worshiping the Queen of Heaven. Just like with Christmas, with Thanksgiving, with all them that you're worshiping other gods. With your birthday, you're worshiping another God. And they have fooled you because of these women that just love gifts. You're going to have to do my birthday, or we can't be together unless you do my birthday. I'm not going to be with you if we can't do no birthdays. That's how wicked a lot of these women are, and how wicked these men are, because they won't rule their house and tell the wife, no, we're not doing birthdays. It says, the children gather wood, the fathers kindled the fire, and the women kneaded their dough to make cakes to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour drink offerings to other gods. See, all this is about other gods, and that they may provoke me to anger. Do they provoke me to anger, saith the Lord? Do they not provoke themselves to the confusion of their own faces? Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, behold, my anger and my fury shall be poured out upon this place, upon man, and upon beast, and upon the trees of the field, and upon the fruit of the ground, and it shall burn and shall not be quenched. All because of them wanting to do all this baking cakes to the Queen of Heaven and drink offerings to these other gods. There's no Israelite custom of doing birthday cakes or anything like that. If you do birthday cakes, you might as well do Christmas. It's no difference. One is no worse than the other. Second Corinthians 6, verse 17 to 18. Come out of her, wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. See, it tells us to come out from among them. We're supposed to be separate from the other nations. We're not supposed to be doing birthdays like the other nations. We're not supposed to be doing Christmas or Easter or Thanksgiving or Halloween. We're not supposed to be doing any of those unholy days. We're supposed to be separate. And then the Most High will receive us. Verse 18, and will be a father unto you, and ye shall be my sons and daughters, saith the Lord Almighty. When you come out of her and stop doing birthdays and all these other heathen customs, then and only then will the Lord and will you be the Most High sons and daughters. You all that's not keeping these laws, you all that's making excuses to do birthdays and Christmas and Thanksgiving and to do this and do that, he's not going to receive you. Period. Hebrews 13, verse 17. Obey them that have rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls. See, the leaders are supposed to watch for your souls, but there are some leaders that are actually keeping you in sin, even though they're supposed to be watching for your soul. Obey them that have rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls, as they that must give account. See, these leaders who telling you to do Christmas and Thanksgiving and birthdays and all that, they're going to hold account before the Most High for telling you to do birthdays and telling you to do Christmas or telling you to do whatever. They're going to be held liable, and they're going to have to hold account for telling you, because guess what? When they tell you, you believe it, and the 20 of you, the 100 of you, tell another 100, and tell another. Next thing you know, there's 5,000 people, a million people believing that it's okay to do birthdays. And you, whoever that leader is, when he stand before the Most High, he's going to have to hold account for why he told you that it's okay to do birthdays. I wouldn't want to be that leader. I wouldn't want to be. Obey them that have rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your soul, as they that must give account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief. I hope these leaders are not doing that, because they'll be doing it with grief. Because when they stand before the Most High and get judged, and they've been telling you to do Thanksgiving and do birthdays and different unholy days, because the women, most of the time, it's the women that want to do it. They like their birthday gift, but they think they're special, so they wanted that. And well, I'm gonna do my birthday, and the men are too weak to tell them no, you can't do it, for that is unprofitable for you. Okay, so this is a little bit on birthdays. I wanted to bring this out because I had a few people asking me about birthdays. So here is a little bit about birthdays. And with that, I say shalom.